Hello, this is Alan Crone, CEO of the Crone Law Firm, with my daily COVID-19 legal update. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you're well and your family and friends are doing well. If not, I'm sorry to hear that. And certainly everyone who's suffering from COVID-19 is in my prayers, and I hope we're in your prayers too. Today I want to talk about something that has been I've got a lot of questions about over the last couple of days, and that is essentially whose responsibility is it to ensure that there's a safe and healthy workplace for people to go back to work. Many workers are concerned that can they just refuse to go back if they're concerned about their health. The answer to that is, in most cases, no. The Department of Labor has ruled that for purposes of federal unemployment benefit, the PUA, the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance payments of $600 a week, that mere concern about health for going back to work is not sufficient for receiving unemployment benefits. It's possible that if you could prove you got the virus from your work and it was connected to your work, in other words, you were maybe an emergency room nurse or physician, or a grocery store worker who caught the virus at work, you might have an argument. I think it's going to be an uphill battle on that, mainly because it's going to be very difficult to show that there was a approximate causal connection between being at work and contracting the virus. So having said that, what's someone to do? And I think that we all ought to look at this in the sense that we're all in this together. We've heard that all over the place, whether it's commercials or talking to one another. We're all in this together, and that has been true. It's true now, and it's going to be true. And it's very true when you talk about a safe workplace. In order to have a safe and healthy workplace, you have to have companies, workers, and customers working together to make sure that the workplace is safe and healthy. So what does that mean? Well, for companies, it means observing the guidelines set out by the CDC, OSHA, and local and state directives, whether it's a local mayor making a proclamation, or the governor, or state or county health departments. Almost universally, what they're requiring is this. The government is requiring that employees be given a screening before they come in, and maybe even customers given a screening. Do you have a fever? And you can either do that by asking the person or doing a touchless laser scan to get the fever amount. Do you have COVID? Have you had COVID? Have you been in contact with somebody who's had COVID? Do you have any of the symptoms? Do you have a fever? Do you have a cough? And if you do, then you may not be allowed to come to work. You may not be allowed to patronize the establishment. Now, the good news is that's a basis for unemployment benefits if you work and you can't go because you're seeking medical diagnosis for COVID-19. So that's good news there. Also, the requirements require PPE when available and when appropriate. And I think just about every industry, every type of work out there allows for PPE while you're working. And that's not just face coverings, but gloves, maybe outer coverings as well. Sanitization efforts, using hand sanitizer, washing your hands, disinfecting all common surfaces and work surfaces, not sharing things like handsets or computers, keyboards, staplers, all those kinds of things. And really sanitizing everything as often as possible. Maybe putting up barriers like plexiglass or plastic barriers when appropriate, and then keeping people 6 feet apart. Maybe staggering work time, staggering people coming and going, having specific policies for breaks and meal breaks and other breaks where social distancing is observed and no large groups are gathering in break rooms and that sort of thing. A whole host of things. And so those policies and procedures, it is critical for companies to investigate and implement the best practices in your industry and make sure that you're doing at least the bare minimum of what your county and state health departments are requiring. Absolutely crucial. It's crucial to be in legal compliance, but it's also good business. Like a lot of things, being in legal compliance is good business. Here, it's good business for, in my opinion, for two reasons. One, employees and workers are very concerned about this. And many of them are very concerned and are on the horns of a dilemma. Do I go back to work into a situation that may not be healthy, or do I stay at home but suffer economic harm? And that those are reasonable, good faith quandaries that these folks are in. And they're going to go back to places where they feel safe and where they believe that a company is looking out for them. And they're going to shun companies that are trying to do this on the cheap or trying to get away with whatever they can get away with. So if you want a good workforce, you're going to need to provide a safe working environment, and complying with these requirements is going to demonstrate to potential job candidates that you do. Also, customers are going to pay attention to this. Customers want to feel safe. Customers want to see that you're treating your employees safe and that you're providing them a safe environment, and probably more importantly, providing them a safe environment. So it's good business, because if there are two businesses that are competing against each other, one looks a little sketchy, the other one is going out of its way to make sure that it's providing PPE for customers, it's doing social distancing, it's sanitizing, whatever it may be, customers are going to flock to that business as opposed to the business they think is trying to cut corners. Now, I think the same goes for employees. Employees have to buy into all of this. You've got to wear the mask. You've got to wear the gloves and other protective equipment. You've got to wash your hands. You've got to be disciplined about cleaning surfaces and disciplined about maintaining social distance and asking other people to do it. And I know that it is awkward. And I've done it myself. I have good friends of mine, people I work with, have started to get a little too close. And I have said, hey, stay over there. We can talk from the 6-foot distance. And it doesn't show that you are fearful. It doesn't show that you are weak. It shows you're disciplined and strong. And it shows that you're just as concerned for them as you are yourself. Because whether you own a company, you work in a company, or you patronize the company as a customer, none of us know whether or not we're asymptomatic and spreading the virus at any given point in time. And so by adopting these social distancing measures, we're not only protecting ourselves, but we're also protecting other people. And that's an important distinction to make, and that's an important thing to do. So as an employee, you want to help your employer enforce these policies and comply with these policies. That is our responsibility as workers to do it as well. And if you're a customer, let's say you're going home from work and you decide to stop at a grocery store, put on your mask. If they offer you hand sanitizer, use it. If you're waiting in line, wait 6 feet behind the next person. Cough into your arm. Do all of those things to stop the spread of this virus. This virus doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care where you are or what time of day it is or what day of the week it is. It breeds, feeds, and spreads in close contact and in large crowds. That's what the science tells us. And as we make progress, and we've made a lot of progress, we don't want to go back on that. So as we go back to work, companies need to follow the guidelines. Employees need to help follow the guidelines and support your company and your employer in their efforts to provide a safe workplace. And customers need to cooperate and realize that everything takes a little bit longer these days to get processed. And so we all need to be a little patient. We need to be vigilant, disciplined, and patient. And if we are all those three things, then we're going to look up in July with a much brighter future than if we aren't vigilant, patient, and disciplined. All right, I've enjoyed talking with you. If you've enjoyed this, please share it on social media or forward it to folks that you may know in email form. If you have questions, Google Alan Crone, Alencrone, Attorney Memphis, and I guarantee you'll find a couple of different ways to contact us. We'd love to help you. And hopefully I will see you soon at a Redbirds game or a 901 FC soccer game or a Tiger football game or Grizzly or Tiger basketball game. If we all work together and we work hard, hopefully we can get there sooner rather than later. Again, thank you and have a great afternoon.